Touch of Great Matters. I'm your host, Dave Sokolowski. I'm here as always with Barry Carter, and usually we have Zulf Ali and Thomas Matrice with us. Unfortunately, Zulf is, well, not unfortunately, Zulf's celebrating Ramadan, and, happy Ramadan, Merry Ramadan, Blessed Ramadan. However else you say it, I don't really know. I
Never saw a
apologize.
green card.
I'm ignorant in that aspect of it. And unfortunately, Thomas has some family matters that he has to take care of. So, all the best with Thomas and the family, and I hope everything gets taken care of really well. We wish you all the best and everything else. As always, I wanted to thank, Jaybird Digital Arts for the wonderful skins that you will see as we produce and send this out and everything else. And, he does some amazing work for all the comedians and everything else. He does ours. He does Barry and Rod's Iconist podcast, which is also up on YouTube. And you should go check it out, especially if you're into geek stuff. If you like all things comic book and comic book movie and comic book show related, you're going to love that one. They've done, copies of, they've done reviews of the Justice League movie, the Zack Snyder one. They've done Miller Universe, which, if you're following on Netflix, now has Jupiter's Legacy. And if you're sorry, I have a dog walking under the table. So go check out the Iconist podcast. And also, too, as we're opening the shows, promoting stuff and everything else, there are some times where, I'm sure you're sitting at work and, people at work sometimes just fucking, and if you work from home, it works great on kids, too, just so you're aware. Just because if you're sitting there thinking, well, I've been working from home for the last year, the fuck do I need this for? Trust me, it works. You can have somebody come up to you and ask you stupid questions and whatnot, and if you don't really feel like talking to them, much the way I do with my other mug, the Have a Nice Day mug, you can sit there and just sip and I get that some people at work, might be offended because, the finger comes creeping up. So if you really want to, what you can do is you can go to redbubble.com or redbubble.ca or however it is working out, or you can download the Redbubble app and you can look for A Touch of Gray. And on there you will find our logos for A Touch of Gray Matter and A Touch of Gray, but you'll also find this, the Resting Dave face. And as you're sitting there at work and the people are talking to you, especially if you deal with customers all the time, it's great just to tell customers to, they can ask you stupid questions and you can just sit there and go, and just make sure that I'm always staring right at them. So then they know after a while, they're kind of like, this is getting awkward now because he's just not blinking. And I get it because he's a mug and he shouldn't be blinking, because if the mug blinks, it's even fucking worse. But you can just sit there and just go, Redbubble, Resting Day Face. You can get it on anything. Clocks, T-shirts, socks, masks. Sorry, not masks, because apparently my description went, no, we can't put that on a mask. But you can get it on coffee mugs, travel mugs, tall mugs. You can get it on books. You can get it on phone cases. You can get it on whatever you want. Pillows. Perfect for pillows. So remember, if you need stuff done digitally, you contact Jaybird Digital Arts. And
Yes.
if you need a face just to look at people and go, fuck off, Redbubble, Resting Dave face. You've heard it here first. This is the first one of many.
He's serious about the product. Of course, it's serious. Check it out. Love it. Oh my God. It's not laughing.
Next week, I'm going to have the T-shirt. I'm going to have a hat. I'm going to have the mug. I'm just going to be sitting here, and the other two are going to be back here going, "What the fuck? What is Dave doing?"
What you should get are one of those hoodies that that zip up all the way over your face and make a mask, but then have the resting Dave face on. It's like, it's kind of chilly in here. Zip.
See, so wait a minute. You're telling me I need a mask of me so that I can wear, so I can do this face. Which would take me a lot more time to sit there and do this.
It's the hoodie. You never seen those ones with the hoodie?
As opposed to just doing this.
It's the actual.
I even looked at my watch. My heart rate didn't even fucking change when I tilted my head.
No, but you've seen them, right? They have the hoodie.
Oh, I've seen them, but it's for other people. I'm not going to get a hoodie with my fucking face on it to cover up my face.
It's so absurd that to me I find it funny. It's like, really? I've got a kooky sense of humor. What can I say?
I get that, but and especially, let's think about this, okay? At 6 feet 4 inches tall, 350 pounds, I put on a hoodie that I zip up, and it's my face doing this. I'm going to get locked up. They're going to be like, you know what? He's just way too fucking crazy for us.
I'll let him go.
It's not even a red wine with fish type crazy. It's like a ski pole in the back of the head because they didn't have a fucking Snickers bar crazy. And while I'm zipping it up, I can just laugh like Woody Woodpecker.
Oh man, that's it. I'm over. I'm done.
Fuck. All right, Thomas, what do you got?
So, usually, cruising around looking for stories and things that catch my eye. And as I said, my name's Barry. We all know the name is Barry. I make jokes about it on stage. You've seen it, you heard it. If not, you should be on the show when we open back up. You'll see it. You'll understand the joke. Barry, pretty common name. Dave, right? Pretty common name. I'm sure, Dave, you ran into other people that had your name. Overall in the span of your lifetime, or you've heard of other Daves.
Speaking of ski poles to the fucking back of the head, the next person that thinks these are the Daves I know, to me, is going to get a fucking ski pole in the back of the head. Don't get me wrong. I love the Kids in the Hall. Fucking great. Loved that song the first time I heard it. The next 8,000 times I've heard it, it gets fucking old. Trust me.
To get the mug. So the reason
Daves I know. These are the Daves I know.
So yes. It's a rite of passage, everybody. So the reason I'm bringing it up, because in the States, I read this story, and it was Battle of the Joshes. So you had this one guy named Josh Sweden, and he ran into a couple of other people on Facebook that had his name, first and last. So he made a...
Yeah, right, sorry. Right. As soon as you said that, I'm like, yes, I know this guy, yes. Not right. Personally, but I know of him.
Yes. So he put it up as a joke, college student, saying, all right, we should all battle up for the name. In 1 year, we're going to meet here at Lincoln Park, and we're going to battle up for the name. Ha, 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 ha. made a joke, sent out some invites to like 8 of the people. He told his friends. Okay, 6 months now have gone by. People are start messaging him saying, "Hey, so what's the date and time for the battle for the Joshes?" And he's like, "Oh shoot, what really?" And he looked and he started getting more invites. So he got serious about it. He said, "Okay, here's a date and time." He created an event page on Facebook, and we're all going to be there. Everyone's got to battle up for the name. Winner gets to keep their name. So it went from Josh Sweeney to just Josh.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the first group that he posted to
Right.
all had the same first and last name.
Yes. Yes.
And it was funny because he's like, you know, like they showed a picture of like the messenger, and it was like all you see is like the pictures, and then it's Josh. And the opening statement is from this guy, and he's like, "I assume you all know why you're here." People are just kind of like, "Yeah, we all have the same name. That's kind of weird." And then he's like, and then he turns serious, and he's like, "There can be only one." And I'm like, "Ooh, fuck! He's gonna Highlander them! Like, this is awesome!" And then he posted about we all have to battle out, and the winner gets to keep the name.
Right. And everyone else who loses has to legally change their name. That was what he was saying with the clause. And then of course, other people started jumping in just with the first name of Josh. So anyone that had the name Josh was jumping in on this event. And he's like, okay.
I would have legally changed my name to Josh just to fucking go.
Oh, Jesus. Can you imagine it? That's a good stress relief right there. Oh, you can. And they got together, and it was like hundreds of people showed up to battle out for the name of Josh. There can only be one, and it was called Josh Fight. So some people might have seen this online, not realize what it was tied back to. And they got there dressed in different costumes, dressed in normal street clothes, with pool noodles to battle out. People on the sides who were not participating, who were watching, had signs saying, "We're Team Josh." Everybody there is Josh. And hundreds of people, I mean, some dressed as Jedis. Yes. And what was funny, two of them, by random fluke, dressed up as Spider-Man. So that whole meme where you see of Spider-Man pointing to another Spider-Man, they're like, "You," and it goes back and forth. So two of them, they pulled that off, and they battled it out to see who was going to be the one. And the winner was this 4-year-old boy named Josh, of course.
Yeah.
But a 4-year-old boy ended up winning the whole battle of the Joshes amongst everybody. And I love that because, one, this kid's going to have an ultimate memory. At 4 years old, he's going to say, "Mom, Dad, I battled for the name, and I won out of hundreds of people." They're going to have video. That's just an ultimate feel-good moment. And then...
Well, it's... Sorry to interrupt, but it feel good up to a certain point. No, because then he's going to be sitting there thinking, "I'm the only Josh." And then as soon as he meets another kid named Josh, he's going to slit his fucking throat in the boys' room.
There can only be one. He's going to Assassin's Creed him.
"So how was your day at school, honey?" "Well, I found another Josh." "Oh, how'd that go?" "They haven't found the other Josh yet."
He's like, "Were you playing hide and go seek?" "Yeah, let's call it that." But for that day.
Do you know if you bury somebody and you put endangered plants over top, they can't legally dig it up? Weird. These things you find out on the internet.
Oh, Jesus, the tidbits Dave. So wrong. Battle for the Joshes and gardening tips.
Just saying, like...
But I like the whole idea of it, though, man. That's
the thing, because the kid's 4, right?
Yeah.
He's going to grow up thinking, "I'm going to be the only Josh for the rest of my life."
Surprise.
And then he's going to snap because he's going to see more of them, and he's going to be like, no, I killed all you fuckers. You were all supposed to change your name. You didn't change your name. Now I have to kill you for real. And all of a sudden, the pool noodle becomes a fucking axe or something like that, And he's going to go around and kill everybody on April 25th. Why? Why not?
Yoshi.
Because Friday the 13th is way too often, and fuck, people need to relax between killings.
No, they should do it on a leap year. Every 4 years, battle it out for the name.
There you go.
Right?
And when this kid comes back, you know what? Let him win 2. Let him win when he was 4. Let him win when he's 8.
Uh-huh.
Because he's 12, you fucking kick the shit out of him first.
Come on, those rules apply.
Just bring him back to reality a little bit.
It's like a Royal Rumble, man. And those rules apply. You got to get that guy first who won it twice in a row. It's like Bret Hart won, King of the Ring twice. Take him down.
Also, parents aren't naming their kids Josh anymore. No, because the leap year's next year. He's only going to be 1. He can't hold a noodle. They'll kill him.
See, what would make it interesting is you get not the ones named Karen, but the Karens associated. Put them in a battle royale, like rollerball or something like that.
And while you're at it, set the ring on fire just to see what the fuck will happen. See one chick turn around, slap the other one. I want to see your manager.
Let there be fire. Karen Ball.
And have Paul Bearer at the side of the ring. Oh, this is my water jug, by the way. This is how much water I drink in a night.
Oh, man.
I am not retaining water anymore.
It's flying out of you like a fire hose. See, but after I said, I like the whole piece of, so he felt good for that one moment, that day. The rest of them are supposed to legally change their names. But at the same time, they used that event to raise money and for I think it was cystic fibrosis, I'm not sure. And also for the food bank. Everyone had to bring one non-perishable good.
Well, you know what? And I mean, like, for stuff like that, I think it's like fucking, I mean, like, every show you hear me close off the same way. There's a lot of good people out in the world, and apparently a lot of them are named Josh.
Right?
You know what? Good for you. And if you can't find one, be one. This guy just started it out as a joke, and he found people with the exact same name. It's like me going around trying to find Dave Sokolowski's on the internet. First of all, there's probably going to be, 3? 4 tops? Right? But this guy was lucky enough to find like 8 or like 10 or something like that. Like it wasn't a small number, but it wasn't too big either.
No.
And he messaged them and he said, I brought you all here because there can be only one. So we're going to fight. And, joking aside and everything else, somebody was kind of like, yeah, you know what? In the middle of a pandemic, I got to get the fuck out of here. So where's it going to be and when?
Yeah.
And this guy went, oh, wow. And they invited, more Joshes came into the group and whatnot. And it was kind of like, oh, shit. Well, maybe we should actually do something with this. And to sit there and raise funds for any charity, no matter what it is, and to raise donations for the Daily Fred, the food banks and whatnot. It's phenomenal to see. And the fact that over 100 Josh has showed up for this.
Yeah.
And whether or not it started out where, they're kind of like, ooh, look, a 4-year-old. We should make him. Or if it was just kind of like, and I don't know if it would have started out being, well, like, there's 100 of us here. We should let the 4-year-old win. Or if it was like, as everything's going on, they're kind of like, who keeps hitting my knee? They finally look down and see the midget running around going, hi! And they're like, oh, that's cute. Let him win. Might as well.
Like, geez, cameras are looking. I can't kick him. I shouldn't trip him.
However it worked out and whatnot, you know what? It is good to hear, especially now, like there's not a lot of you know, yeah, I mean, like you look at
I
the
don't.
news inundated with doom and gloom, and it doesn't matter what side of the political fence you fall on, left, right, center, extremes on either side. It's you know, it's to the point where like I said, I know I've said it a few times. Like at this point in time, I'm really rooting for the virus. Like like I am sick of humanity. You people are like just fucking you know. Uh, Case in point, and not to
No, no, go ahead.
one of the comedians that I follow, Al Babcock, put up a post this morning,
Hmm.
and the post says, and I will read it so that we're not, fucking around or anything like that. When the time comes, I 100% support mandatory vacations for everyone. If anybody refuses, they should be forced, which is great. And you read it, you know,
Hmm.
and it says,
Got it. Yeah.
but when you read it quickly, you're thinking mandatory vaccinations. Fuck that. And so many people went off on his original post.
Right.
Like by the time I picked up on his post and I saw it, it was already on for like 7 hours or so. And when, and at that point in time, there was, I think, yeah, now there's 309 comments on it.
Oh wow. Okay.
And people are just,
Because he's saying vacations, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but people are reading it probably saying vaccination because it's almost like that. Like we talked about one of our other shows, Mandela effect. It's what's written and what you perceive. So looking at it quick, because we hear so much about vaccinations, as soon as you see something with VAC, oh geez, no, I don't want to. No, you can't force that on me.
Under the Constitution, we have the right not to accept medical care if it's against our religious beliefs. Uh, where's the other one? No way do you want war. Um,
So no
this is
one looked at it
this is
properly.
Canada. This is Canada, not Russia or China. Uh, some people agree vaccination should be forced on everyone. Um, there's a couple of people that are like literally, we are a free country and we should be able to say what goes into our bodies. It's our choice, not the government's. This is not China or Russia. There's a lot of like, I prefer freedom, my body, my choice. Um, you know, it will never fly. That's a pity. There's so many people in the United States who just don't give a damn about the people around them. You can't fix stupid. Obviously, you can't because you can't even fucking read properly.
And that's what it comes down to because people what was written and what they perceived because they looked at it quickly, two different things. It's almost like that internet a couple of years back where people are having this big debate about no, the dress is blue and black. No, it's white and with gold. Remember that whole blue is a dress blue? Is it
Oh
white?
yeah, no, that
Yeah.
cost me a laptop.
Cost you a laptop.
Yeah, because I fucking threw mine out the window.
It's a shit. Crap. See, so with everything
It
going
was
on,
at
we
that
needed a feel good story.
it was at that point in time where I just realized that we are fucking monkeys with shoes. That's it, man. Like we are like the base level fucking, you know, what do you see? I see people being stupid. They're arguing over the color of this fucking dress.
Right.
You know, it looks like a fucking. And then they had one with the shoe, didn't they?
Yes, 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 they did. Like, what, you need a whole ensemble? What's next? The gloves? The necklace? The underwear? What? as I said, when I look through, because right now when I go through my news feed is all two things: it's either dealing with vaccines or it's dealing with some type of racism, and I just don't bother with it anymore. It's fucking. So when I saw this story pop up, I was very happy. It made me happy. It made me happy that two guys dressed as Spider-Man without coordinating that. It was just like fluke. It made me happy that people dressed as Jedi Knights. May the Force be with them.
And
Good on them.
you know what? It's great because it is something where you can kind of sit there, and even not being somebody named Josh, you can literally just sit there and be like, man, that's funny. That's awesome. And it's always nice because, you see people that are, I'm just trying to look through my news feed to find something that's not fucking,
vaccines and racism or stupidness.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that. That should be a game show. Find something positive in your news feed. You have 30 seconds. Go. They'll never pay out on that. Because look, the other story that I came across, right? So I was reading, and that had me, and you're going back about people being stupid, right? And this is like a little bit off topic. No problem. We go off all the rails all the time. So when you have the teacher saying, hey, you're in school, you should, study, you should use math. And you have always that one smart ass. When am I ever going to use math? Once I leave here, I'm never going to use math when I get, I'm not sure if you heard about the story that NASA put out on the weekend about China launched, once again, here we go. China had a rocket up in orbit, and, one of the booster rockets
fell into the sea.
Yeah, but they didn't know where it was going to fall at first. Okay. You put it up there. I get, all right, but you're not going to, and it's going too fast to calculate where it's going to fall. We don't know where it's going to fall. Notice that story it was there, but it wasn't as big as you thought it would be. That's what surprised me. And then you couldn't calculate where it's going to fall. Like,
now,
math?
Sorry, I gotta look for that story because there was something. Was it a satellite?
It was a booster rocket that got one of their rockets up there, and it should have fallen off, but it didn't, and it got off course, and then it just hit orbit, and they didn't know it was going to fall, where it's going to fall down. Between all the satellites we got, you're trying to tell me I've seen more science explanations and mathematical equations in something like The Martian than in real life. You guys couldn't science the shit out of that one.
No, I'm hoping this is the right story. Yeah, it seems to be. The rocket went up on the May 9th, and
yep.
Or no, it came down and landed in the ocean west of the Maldives. But there was a guy that I heard on the radio earlier who his title was like, I was just like, they have that? He's like from a space agency. I don't think they said NASA. But his title is literally tracing matter reentry.
They're really getting technical in those porn movies, aren't they?
Well, no, I mean, like that wasn't the exact title, but that's literally what he does. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, how often does this shit happen where you have to make a specific fucking title and have an office of it?
Way more than we know, man.
But that's just it. So this shit is happening all the time. And nobody's saying shit, but now all of a sudden, apparently, anything coming out of China is fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it just caught me so off guard where I'm sitting there and I'm working, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like...
Wait a minute. I love how you process it.
Like, what... Why does this have, why is this a thing? Kind of like, so I also saw this on the internet earlier, and, just, I guess if we're going to be talking about feel-good stories, could be one of them. Like I saw this. Okay. Absolutely no information on company time. Clock out before you pull your cock out. Now, my question is, how many times did that actually happen before the notice had to go up? Like,
Hey,
you know,
stress job.
if it's a one-off, do you not just want to keep it quiet and not say anything? So what if it happens 2 or 3 more times? Then you got to kind of be like, whoa. And not only that, if it's just the one person, pull them aside. Putting up a notice like a no smoking sign, that means a group of people are doing it.
Hey man, lunchtime
and I don't know for sure if it was at any government building,
right,
or not. I mean, like, they're not doing any work, and most of the time, a lot of them are just jerking off.
Tracing rematter entry. Look, man, on that tracing rematter entry, picture this, and really, you know, maybe we see it, but we don't acknowledge it. When you see a rocket, any form, shape, right, goes up. Look how much of it goes up, and look how much of it comes back down. Now, a lot of rockets are sending up satellites all the time, you know, for all these telecommunications companies when they want to work. So that's going up. And then they're setting up satellites to monitor things on the Earth, and satellites to go and monitor things up there. There's, you know, even though we see it as a clear sky, there is hundreds of satellites just around. And some of them are, you know, a lot of them are now just like out of service. They're defunct. So we're just waiting for the orbit to decay, right? Because they've done what they had to do. So look, when we had to put that probe on Mars, you know, that was the main solid engine, booster rockets on that, and then it separates in 3 different parts. So someone's going to track all that stuff to see where it's going to fall, and they have to calculate the rotation of the Earth, then the wind, and all that plays a part of it. That equals into the launch window a lot more than that. They science the shit out of that. So that there's a full department.
Oh no, I get it. It's just like, and I understand, like, you know, you send stuff up like the satellites and whatnot, and the rockets go off, and then
right,
you know, the things break apart and they just float in space and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that I took this was, and I'm thinking that if you're sending something up, you're going to have a plan for when it comes back down.
Gravity.
So you would already have all that shit in place. You wouldn't need a whole fucking office. I'm thinking the office is like just tracing stuff that, oh, I didn't know that was there.
Pretty much. Dave, you hit it on the head. Pretty much, that's exactly what it is. Because they don't know how. They know it's there, and they're not sure how it's going to degrade or when it's going to start losing its orbit, and then when it's going to fall back in. So they're just waiting, and it's going around, and it's like, oh, wait, it's now decay. Is the orbit starting to decay? Nah, it's still going to stay up there for maybe another year or so. Oh, it's gone down again. Okay. So they don't know when it's going to come back, and we have no plan on when it's coming back, when that stuff's coming down. It just comes down, and we hope it burns up in the atmosphere. Like, I'm sure you remember this, and maybe our viewers have to look it up. Skylab, right? When they had Skylab up there back in the 70s.
Isn't it? Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking Skynet.
Yeah. No, close enough. Dun, 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 dun. So when they put Skylab up there back in the late 70s, and it was the space station, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, we got a space station up there. This is great. Then at one point, the orbit started to decay. Oh, shit, it's starting to fall. Where's it going to fall? We don't know. That was NASA. We don't know. We're trying to calculate that right now. And all the report is, will it hit a landmass or will it go overseas? We don't know. Well, you know. We'll let you know. It's like they had no clue. And every time if you looked at what Skylab was, how big this thing was, and they had no idea how it's going to come down. And the question is like, where will it fall? Will it fall down in one? Will it come down in one piece, or it's going to break up and come down in pieces? We're assuming pieces. It might hit North America.
That's when you see the NFL refs come out and they're like, okay, we're going to call it in the air. It lands on land. Tails, it's in the ocean. Call it. It's heads. We're going to now be able to buy seafront property in Arizona.
Lex Luthor from Superman was right. So I can see why they have a department. Now, what kills is that I didn't know they had a department, right? I should have known. I don't know enough about that, but it doesn't surprise me to hear that someone has that as their job title. And I'm sure there's a whole department going in there just going,
It's just
any day now. Any day.
like, I mean, like, I get science is fucking awesome, but you look at some of these jobs, like the guys waiting for stuff to fall from the sky.
Yep.
You know, people trying to find out the sex of a fly.
Yep.
You know, like, I went to school for 8 years for this shit. Like,
They make a good salary.
But I don't know. I fucking.
And even come on, man. I've seen all those disaster movies. If something is falling, and I've seen those disaster movies, they figure it out more, faster than that. The asteroid's falling. We got to do something about it. We know what's ahead.
They've got a 2-hour window. Like,
You think we have longer than that? They didn't know when that thing was going to fall, and by the time it hit, by the time they would have done, if it was coming over land, let's be realistic. If it was coming over land, what could they have done? Well, okay, well, whatever. We tried.
Well, I mean, like, to be honest, like, stay indoors. No, evacuate. Stay indoors. No, evacuate. What do I do?
You have a bunker. Would you like to buy one? It's like, hey, do your kids have that app or that game called Fallout? Do you know about that? Ask them. They might have some clues.
What was that? The whole thing's fucked up.
Of course, they went to school, they studied, we got all these computers, we can communicate with everybody, and where's it gonna fall? Fuck if I know. It's gonna fall somewhere on the earth.
Somewhere central, north, southish, eastish, yeah, somewhere.
Right. But that's the scary thing, and then it finally hits the ocean, and then like, oh well, it hit the Indian Ocean. It burnt up. Most of it burnt up on reentry. Did it now? Did it? You could say whatever you want to say because I'm not getting in a boat to go all the way out there to verify that. The whole thing could have came down in one piece, and it's like, well, it hit the Indian Ocean. Just told it burnt up in pieces. They're fine. What are they gonna do? Rent a boat?
What are they gonna do? Hire divers? Come on. Oh fuck! I had another joke there, and it was just I had something I wanted to say, and it was just like, no, forget it. Yeah, fuck, it's gone. Well, much like the Chinese rocket, it's gone.
It's gone. But yeah, it makes you think. What other departments are out there of stuff you don't know? Not conspiracy stuff. I mean, clearly you educated me on this, and I'm thinking, yeah, I see it.
I think the thing that caught me most off guard is it wasn't like NASA.
Right. So it's like a third party.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, okay.
Sorry, I had bad thoughts. It wasn't NASA. It was a third party. That means they you call, you're getting some guy in India.
Well, not right now because they're all locked down too.
Working from home. How can I help you? Oh, the rocket ship's coming in? Oh, okay. We're just customer service. We'll get back to you.
I can't wait for that lockdown to end because I need my ducts cleaned.
Have you got any of those calls lately? I haven't.
No.
Beautiful.
I had to reset my phone like 3 times this weekend just to make sure it was still on. I was like, fuck, usually I get like one or two goals. But no, there's been nothing. I've been like, okay, cool, we're good.
Yeah, nothing about fixing your internet, nothing about duct cleaning. See,
Yeah.
positives of the pandemic.
Yeah, we're not going to go over that anymore. So,
No. Once again, this can be found over at Redbubble at Touch of Gray. Resting Day face.
yeah, special thanks to Jaybird Digital Arts and fuck, like it's just, you know what the worst part is?
What's that?
Like the government is spending money on this stuff, and like just set up full offices that
Right.
need, like, this director has, like, he has an assistant, he has a secretary, he's got, maybe a half dozen people working underneath them,
Oh,
and they
absolutely.
even have secretaries and a receptionist and everything else, and they're all making like 60, 70, $80,000 a year.
Yep.
And then the government looks at, us and says, well, we need more money, so we're going to take it from you. Why don't you get rid of the Department of Redundancy? I mean, like that. It just seems redundant.
Come on, man. I still like that, man. I gotta go and find that job title somewhere, man. I gotta apply for that.
Yeah, I gotta find the actual what paper I read it in, but I was just like,
You have to post it. You got to post this on the Facebook page.
I
got
had
to see this.
I had to lie down after that. I was like, I read that and my whole body just went, oh fuck it, you know what? Just good night. Like I don't fucking care anymore. Like this is the dumbest fucking thing I've read all.
Dave's gone for Dodo.
What the fuck? Like honestly, holy fuck! I can't believe that they have this as a fucking job. And
Right?
not only that, like, how do you fucking? Hi, I'm Doug. I was shit. Come back and like, how do you? Oh, I'm the director of Reentry, which sounds like a fucking porn title.
Right? That's what I was saying. It's like, I got the lube.
Like, just, I fuck, oh, god
No, it's
damn it.
silicon based, water based. Like, that whole department, you know how that started, right? It was just a guy out there with a telescope, a blanket, and a notepad. That's how that job started. How much you need? Oh, geez, I don't know, maybe 80,000. We'll give you 90. Okay. How are we doing? I'm going in the backyard. I'm gonna lie down here and, oh, geez, we have a budget for bug spray. You know, it'd be nice if I had an office.
23 ton, 21 metric tons
Yes.
or stage will likely fall into an uninhabited area. Given that 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by ocean, it's going to get wet.
So he's got a 70% chance it won't hit nobody. But Nemo.
Yeah, it probably just woke up Godzilla, which, I mean, like, they're fucked anyway, so.
That's why it always goes to Tokyo.
Who woke him up? Well, yeah, because they keep dropping rockets on him. Fuck,
that's what it is. It hits him off the head. Son of a gun. Oh, I know this. I know this flag on here. I'm on my way to China.
Why does Godzilla keep ruining our stuff? Well, that's what it is. Sorry, Center for Orbital Reentry and Debris Studies.
It's not a study.
At Aerospace Corporation.
Okay, but first, it's not a study. You're not studying it. It's supposed to be a warning. I see. This is why I'd be better off if the place was just called Shield or Sword from Marvel. Tell me you're doing something that's going to stop it and not study it. Look, it's falling. Oh, how fast is it falling? I don't know. Pretty fucking fast. Hey, we should
But
study
this,
that.
so this is a paragraph from the article that I read.
Okay.
U.S. Space Command estimated reentry would occur at 0211 Greenwich Meridian time on Sunday, plus or minus 1 hour. While the Center for Orbital Reentry and Debris Studies, or
Right.
CORDS, at Aerospace Corporation, a division of the Umbrella Corporation, a U.S. federally funded space-focused research and development center, updated its prediction to 2 hours either side of 0302 Greenwich Meridian, with the rocket re-entering over the Pacific. And there's a lot of them, because like European Union space surveillance and tracking. Surveillance, who the fuck are they watching?
I always feel like somebody's watching me. But they see, and they're all going to come up with the different things, right? Because the first one you said is like, give or take an hour. The second one came up, no, they're wrong. Give or take 2 hours. Someone's going to say, no, give or take half an hour. We're more precise. Come on now. You know what that is, Dave? That reminds me when your teacher in high school would put one of those math equation or on the boards, right, with all the symbols and all that, right, and say go up to the board and solve this equation. So you go up, or no, you write it in your book, and the teacher goes, okay, what's the answer? And the teacher walks by, and even though it's the same equation, everyone has a different answer.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. There's 3 different agencies, and they're all going to come up with different answers. But they have the same thing. It's falling at this speed. It's this much. Okay, go ahead.
They should follow Josh's lead. Find a part. Battle. There can be only one.
Right? Then they get the budget for it. Thank you. That's motivation. Come on.
Fuck, I've got a headache now.
I'm sorry.
No, just like, because as soon as you brought that up, I was like, oh, fuck me. Wait a minute. Hold on. What was the name of that place again? In like Aerospace Corporation.
Is that where Hal Jordan works? It was a Green Lantern joke for those who don't follow all the nerd stuff.
Like, I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Chords. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Chords. But they're not the only one. See, like you're reading and you're educating me. They're not the only one. So it's not.
But that's the thing. So this U.S. funded Aerospace Corporation.
Right.
Has an office for the Center of Orbital Reentry and whatever studies.
Down.
And the government's just kind of sitting there going, we need more money from them. we just, look, what happens if that rocket hit California? That it would have been another island. So what happened to Hawaii? I fucking hate people. All right. Starting to figure out what an aneurysm feels like, so I'm going to go because I'm your host, Dave Sokolowski. Again, I'm with Barry Carter. Remember, go support Jaybird Digital Arts. Look for our stuff on Redbubble.
Resting Dave face. He can't even do it right now. He's having a little bit of an aneurysm. So yes.
Pre-aneurysm, resting Dave face. That's fucking great. Remember, kids, there's a lot of good people out there, and if you can't find one, they probably have fucking cords. If you can't find one, be one.